My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Nunas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
Today, we're going to talk about someone that I think pretty much all of us enjoy their body of work. Oh, 3 of us enjoy their body of work, and one is undecided. This is like she's undecided.
We're going to talk about him, though, Dagmar.
We're going to talk about him, and that is the very handsome Lee Seung Gi, who I personally really like. But we'll see if everyone agrees or disagrees. I don't know. He seems like a nice dude. Anyway, but before we do that, what has everyone been watching?
Mostly The King's Avatar. I've just been mowing that sucker down this past week, especially. Like, just, you sort of reach, the end is in sight, and you just keep going and keep going. It was so good. It was just good. It was just fun. Like, it was enjoyable. There were hijinks and hilarity. Like episode 18 or so, for about 2 or 3 episodes, Yang plays like double roles. He plays his twin as well. So
I haven't
that
gotten
was
there
hilarious. Hilarious. So good.
I have something to look forward to.
Yeah, that kind of gets me back in the game a little bit.
Like Yang has a water fight with himself. It's
amazing.
So good.
That sounds
amazing.
like a fanfic, let's be real.
And you know how I feel about that.
Like, it seems completely out of left field, and you're like, what is this? What are we doing here? But it gets revisited when you get into the, final episodes. It gets revisited because of the whole, thing. So, it's not portrayed real super clearly, so if you're watching it and you're not really sure what the thing is, and you can message me. I'll
let you know.
Out. But yeah, it was just fun. It was good. My kids really enjoyed watching it with me, so I actually had to watch the last 2 or 3 episodes. I watched twice because I watched it while the kids weren't around, but then they were basically the last, maybe 3 out of 4 episodes.
You did them dirty.
Well, and those episodes were, it's the big match, right? So
yeah.
It's just the game. Basically, it's just game for, 3 episodes. So that's what they like. That's the part that my kids like, right? So I had to go back and rewatch those scenes, those fights, which was fine because they were interesting. There was some stuff going on and, politics. One of the things I thought was interesting with it was, Nat, you were talking with Go-Go Squid about
Woo, China,
China,
love China, woo, everything for China, yeah.
And it's way, way, way more subtle in the King's Avatar, but there is definitely a level of capitalism bad, teamwork good, right? That. Yeah. There's a very.
It's and listen,
it's a
I agree. Capitalism is bad and teamwork is good, but would I say that China, the country, displays those qualities in a grand sense? No, they do not. So
subtle enough, and I feel like the very end has a level of capitalism bad that I didn't think they needed to go there. I think they could have just whatever, but it's still good. It stuck the landing. It was good through and through. I enjoyed it. So I also finally finished History 3 Trapped. I just was looking on my
Jesus.
I was looking on my hold list and I was like, I'm sure I finished that, and then nope.
I haven't finished that one either, so
I guess I should finish this. Okay,
they left all the spicy scenes for the last episode, so
yeah,
just to keep it going.
History 3 of the 3 seasons, I enjoyed the story very much. I enjoyed the characters very much. Yeah. There was too much story. They had too many plots.
Yeah,
for the unnecessary. It was unnecessarily long. In the final 2 episodes, I think the second to last episode 2/3 of it was spent on a secondary character and his daughter's wedding, and it was like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's supposed to speak to his motivation for being bad, but like, nobody cares. There was too many plots, there was too many bad guys, there was too many things that they were trying to do, like to make it a real drama instead of a boy love drama.
Just keep the boy love drama. That's all we wanted. Like
it just,
you don't have to overthink this.
And that was part of the problem. It was like they overthought the drama parts. It wasn't good. Like the stories that they added weren't good.
Yeah, but it's sort of like such a bum out because like the chemistry between the main couple, fan self, like just like just
great.
get together already, get together.
It was very much a nice change from some of those dramas where it's very like, oh no, but I'm straight. How could I like a guy? And no, they were both like, yeah, I like what I like. Go. And you're like,
and just like there's even like one scene where it's like the cop character who's sort of like scrawny. Like I'll admit, like he, like once he gets his shirt off, you're like, oh, maybe you're not. But like he looks really scrawny, and so like one of the guy's henchmen tries to like take him down, and he just fucking demolishes him, and he's like, you can't tell me who I am, who I'm allowed to love or not. And if I love your boss, I love your boss. Now get out of my face. I gotta go get laid. Like, you know what? I respect that, buddy. I respect you, sir.
So I got that one done. Knocked that off my hold list. My hold list has gotten freakishly long lately, and I need to fix that. So I dropped Mother of Mine, and then I was bored, so I put it back on in the background. I'm fast forwarding through a lot, let me tell you. But our cute couple is still cute. So, and they kind of got past their I don't know, whatever. They're married now, and they're happily shopping through IKEA and being cute, and so I'll watch that and fast forward through all the garbage crap, because there's another weekender coming up soon that I think this weekend starting that I want to watch. So I'm like, I got to pound this out so that I can start something new. Two Moons 2.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it yet. I have actually, again, I have the last 2 episodes to watch. It's going to wind up trapped. I'm going to be 6 months later. Oh, wait, I never finished that.
Natalia's face right now.
I just, the fact that she hasn't finished it is stunning, because she and I are both in another group chat with our fellow BL drama loving friends, and we've all watched it, and it's literally all we talk about is that and another upcoming drama that's coming up in November. So the fact that she has not finished it is shameful, and I will be telling on you to Ricky, and he will have words, madam.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's actually fine, because she's read the novel, so it's not like she doesn't know what's happening. It's not like it's a surprise. And they stick pretty close to the novel, so
yeah. So I mean, again, I kind of feel like the story's done, and there's still 2 episodes left. I'm like, I don't care. They showed the previews, and they were gonna get into make him jealous, stupid stories, and I was like, I don't care.
It just got renewed for another season, so we're getting book 3, friends. We're getting book 3 coming. I'm actually pretty excited. Book 3 is kind of fun. They go to the beach. You meet the dude's dad. The dude's dad is delightful and wants everyone to call him daddy for some reason. So good.
I have not cracked open yet on the 3rd season of Arthdal. My son is very busy, so we just haven't had a chance. I have it all on mute, and shout out to that jerk on my timeline who hashtags it in Hangul but tweets in English. Thanks for that. So yeah, all the spoilers.
You know
I've got the spoiler muted.
I don't really mute anything, because I just don't really care about spoilers. I'm still gonna watch it. So.
Well, yeah, me too. But I muted that one just because.
Yeah, it's so big.
Some of what I was seeing was unpleasant stuff, not just spoilers, and I was like, I just don't want to see you whining about it. So
Yeah, like
because
why worry about
that
it?
could turn
Don't
me off it, you know?
just
Like,
don't watch it. Just don't watch it. Just
just
watch
don't-
something
yeah,
else.
just
I
don't
do think for me sometimes, I don't mute often enough, but I think sometimes if I do see how someone else gets a different vibe from something,
Mm.
and then if I have that in the back of my brain, even if I'm not even if I don't get that exact same vibe, I'm comparing it all the time. Like, that's a thing for me. So even if it's not a spoiler thing, it can sometimes be, it can either set my tooth against it, or then I'll question, like, why I don't like it as much. You know, it kind of sways me sometimes.
I do the same thing.
Chaotic and don't listen to anybody about anything, so...
Yeah, we know
I'm just
that.
get annoyed. I don't even want to look at it right now, because I'll think of the other person, and then I'll just be like, I'm annoyed.
Well, that's just your opinion, is my sort of catchphrase for all of these situations. Like, well, that's okay if that's what you thought, but you and me, we're two different people, so.
And I didn't exactly put it on hold. I still want to finish it. I still want to watch it, but I want to hear your song. Like, Vicky was driving me crazy with the friggin' subs. Like, it was driving me nuts. So it would be a week. A week would go by and 0 subs. And then they would, like, suddenly, like, Monday morning, we're uploading the new episodes. I guess we better get this stuff subbed. And it was insane. So, yeah, it was frustrating me quite a lot. So I stopped. And now I'm kind of lost my mojo for it. Like, I still want to know what happens because it's good. Like, it's really interesting, but it's one of those ones that, like, when I'm watching it, I'm like so into it, but like when I'm not watching, I'm like,
we need to make a name for that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like almost like a drama, like ennui or something, like where you're just like, I guess.
It's like, it's when you're not watching it, it's like you think too hard about it, and then your motivation kind of goes away. But then if you are in the middle of it, it's like, oh, I actually like truly enjoy this. For some reason, I forget how much I enjoy it when I'm not watching it.
It's situational enjoyment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and my sister and I are watching Level Up together, and it's fantastic. I mean, we're only 4 episodes in, so it has lots of room to lose me and, you know, turn into a trash fire. But so far, 4 episodes in, it's fantastic. But
the Sung-hoon fan club,
I know,
approves of it. So
absolutely, it is.
And also, like, it's Sung-hoon at his Sung-hooniest, so just. Which I love because his Sung-hooniest is, like, completely diametrically opposed to his real life, so it's fun.
The thing I like in Level Up is that he's, like, it's the typical K-drama, right? The cold boss, the cheery girl, you know, very tropey, very typical, but he's not the mean cold boss. He's not the nasty cold boss. He's a super nice guy who has friends. He's friendly. He's funny. He, like, you know, he gets talked into karaoke at the team, you know, work dinner. And instead of just karaoke, he calls in a band and, like, does a number with a idol group. Like, he goes all out, and they're like, what are we even seeing from our boss right now? But we love it. And he's like, yeah. And you're like, but he's so adorable. Like, he's got a friend who is clearly in love with him, who she kisses him, and he basically just says, like, sorry, not you. And then they maintain their friendship. They stay friends. You're like, what is this? What's going on?
She's not setting his life on fire.
No,
nice.
She's just like, okay, hey. She does do a lot of teasing him. He's got, like, there's like a found family thing going on because he's got a stepbrother who's living with him now, and there was like a whole scene where, like, this girl who he's rejected is driving him and his stepbrother home, and the stepbrother in the back seat is like, wait, you did karaoke? What? And she's like, oh yeah, he, like, begged me to, like, he's like, begged? I didn't beg. What are you talking about? And she's like, I've got it recorded on my phone. Want to listen? And the brother's like, yeah. And he's like, stop talking over top of me. Like, it's just, like, classic found family bromance stuff. And everything is tropey, everything is classic, but it's, like, all in the best way. All good. Like, it's not. Yeah. So far, I'm really, really enjoying it. And yeah, and I finished Abyss. I wasn't actually watching it, but I just listened to the K-Bay podcast, and they recapped it for me. So I feel like I've seen the whole thing. So, and it's done now. Sounds like it was
something.
Really something. So anyway, so I look forward to whatever it is that Robbie and Michael have for us next, because they're always enjoyable. So yeah, that's basically my watching in a nutshell. How about you, Jessie?
So I finished Hotel Del Luna since we last talked. 10 out of 10. It's now my new favorite show. It's
so
like
good.
Risen a past all my other shows. Just loved it. I just was entertained by the entire show.
A+ entertainment.
Just great. Like, it was just fun to watch. Like, I genuinely had fun watching every single episode and every single character. And it just was a nice watch, and I'm so glad that it also just carried out through the rest of the series. So that was cool. I also finished Coffee and Vanilla, which we all did. It's a show.
It's a show. It's a show. I actually enjoyed it, but it was very stupid.
I'm in this weird spot where, like, I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it, but I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. And, like, I'm like, it was there, and I never, like, was like, oh, I wasted my half hour when I was watching it. And I always was pretty on top of it. As soon as, like, the subs came out, it would be like within a couple of days.
It was so addictive. It was so addictive for not having any substance.
It had I think that's the thing. It just didn't have anything. So, like, but it also didn't really promise that much either.
Yeah, it had a very low bar for entry on that show.
I mean, it was just there. So, yeah, it was. I mean, it's short. It's super short, and I'm sure, like, now I kind of actually.
It was like we couldn't say no.
Yeah.
They were cute. The cute people.
I want to marathon it now as, like, a full series, not, like, waiting. Because not only was it short, it's a normal J-drama, so it's 10 episodes, but the episodes were half an hour long, and they were only releasing them each week, just one episode. So we were watching it while it was airing, and so it has to be different when you watch them all back to back.
Like, I feel like it just makes, like all back to back would just make sort of a silly little movie.
Yeah, but it might be, like, a little bit more of a something. I don't know.
It might be.
The other J-drama that I was watching with Dory in it was the Watashi Teiji. I don't remember. It's the overtime show. I finished that too. It was good. It was kind of just like a standard office J-drama. So I liked it. That. It is my jam. They did, like, on the very last episode, they really pushed home, because it was definitely, like, motivated that, like, the overtime thing was, like, the central, like, plot of the show, and it was, like, very much, like, talking about how overwork is bad, and, like, that was, like, the kind of, tone of the show, and they kind of really brought that, like, drove that home on the last episode. But all in all, it was, like, it was a fun little show. So
see, that's the sort of show that you see that sort of has some government propaganda in it, but it's like benevolent propaganda.
Yeah.
It's like it's trying to convince people not to kill themselves working.
Yeah, and it was like it did show, like, different, like, situations. Like, there was a kid there that was younger, so, like, he would emulate stuff, and she was, like, seeing that he was emulating this, and she's like, no, I need to stop him from doing this now, because it's gonna become an issue later. Or, like, there was a character who had just come back from maternity leave, and so they were dealing with issues like that. So there's, like, it was a good little show, and I enjoyed the characters. And, it has a little found family, like all office dramas do. And it was just, like, a good show to just throw on and watch every week. So that's done. I also finished my third J-drama, which was In Time With You, which was spectacular. I think you all should watch it.
Oh, add to list.
I've heard that the Taiwanese drama version of it is also good, so it makes me feel like maybe they both are, like, exactly the same or close to the story. Like, it was so good. It's very emotional. Like, literally the last 2 episodes, I was crying because of every emotion possible, but it was so well done. I just really liked it. There was like only like one little small issue I had with the entire series, but I loved it. I loved the two leads. I thought they were great together, and they worked really well together. And it did a lot of really nice moments where it was just like kind of like quiet moments, or like moments where they allowed the actors just to be with each other, because like the story is that they're best friends, and so one of them is in love with the other, you know, that sort of thing. The actors just had such good chemistry that like there were just little things, little moments that were like obviously mess ups, but like they just kept them in because they were just so good together. So it added this really nice little touch of realness to it. So definitely, if you're looking for a J-drama, that's on Viki. I'd watch it. It's completely done in sub. So
nice.
That was good. What else have I been watching? Oh, I tried another J-drama.
Le surprise, le shock.
Oh, well, I'm trying to be like really good about like watching the J-dramas that are on Netflix, because I don't know, in my head that I feel like me watching it will then like signal that someone's watching it, and then they'll give me more J-dramas. So I tried out the show. It's called My Husband Won't Fit.
Oh yeah.
I've only watched the first episode of it. It seems to be good, but it's not a comedy by any stretch of the imagination. So it's like really a very serious, like probably going to be sad story about these two people that like they're like having issues, but like it's almost a little too dry. Like it's almost a little too boring. Because it definitely has like a slice of life kind of quality to it, but I don't know. I might keep up with it just to keep up with it. And it's on Netflix, so whatever. I mean, like, it's fair, easy, and legal. So
easy, legal, subbed. There you go.
Yeah.
The three
it's like
horsemen of the big
Japanese
three horsemen of the...
Listen, I have to take whatever J-drama I possibly can. Like, I can't really be picky. Like, the world doesn't allow me to be picky on J-dramas.
Yeah, so. True.
And then I've been watching or rewatching some of Dreamcatcher Note, their little blog stuff, because I wonder why.
Weak nudge nudge.
Weak nudge. Yeah, like I want to watch the like Secret Boutique and the Camilla Blooms. But I was waiting for both of the episodes of both of them to air, which would be tonight. So those are definitely in my plan to like at least try to watch, but I haven't. But like honestly, my hours have been spent watching Forensic Files and the X-Files because I'm on my yearly rewatch of the X-Files, so that takes up time. I'm sorry, K-dramas and J-dramas.
They understand.
Well, it doesn't look like J-dramas are suffering from your...
That's true.
You've been also...
But it's been, you know, like a couple weeks since, like, Coffee and Vanilla. Like, it's been a while. But, yeah. That's what I've been watching. Not a lot. What about you, Natalia?
Oh, boy. Okay. Unlike Amanda, I have finished Two Moons 2, and it was exactly what we were expecting it to be. So I enjoyed it because, listen, I'm, you know, you give me a Thai BL drama where none of the characters are gross, and I'm in it. And by gross, I mean, like, not rapey. Yeah. And that's...
Or dead. It's always nice when nobody's dead at the end.
Yeah, so they all live, and they all actually want to be dating each other, so, like, that's a plus. Also from Thailand, I've been watching from GMM-TV. They got me. They got me with a contract marriage. So there's on their YouTube, you can watch it for free. It's called Sand Princess. Oh my God. It is so fucking cute. I have to describe the plot of this show because it's the plot of a show that really only Thailand would produce. So,
only in Thailand.
Okay. So it's technically a love triangle, I guess, but not really. So there's two brothers. One, Key, is successful, wonderful, the best. The other one, G, is a total fuck up. But they have lots of money. So G has a best friend named Kot, who was a girl who was an orphan that he would then pay to do things for him to help her get through school. And by do things, I mean like run errands and stuff. So meanwhile, he gets this girl pregnant, but doesn't know about it.
A different girl.
A different girl. Just some.
Okay.
She never returns again so far. Like, she's been gone out of the picture. So she just like abandons the baby at his house. So he's like, shit, like, what do I do? So meanwhile, he has then cheated with his older successful brother's girlfriend.
Oh.
And got caught by the girlfriend's dad. So now they have to get married, okay? But then he goes home and there's this baby. So he's like, shit, what do I do with this baby? So then he pays the girl, his friend, to pretend to be the baby's mom and raise the baby, okay? This is not her baby. She's never even, she's a virgin, like. But anyway, so 2 years passes of him, like, he bought her a condo and, like, pays her, like, a monthly to, like, raise, anyway, so she runs into the guy's brother, who she doesn't know is his brother, and they become sort of, like, friends, and then the brother finds out that, through this whole, drama shenanigans, that the baby is his brother's baby, so he thinks that she used to be with his brother. His ex-girlfriend, who is now the brother's fiance, G's fiance, his father is like their biggest investor in the older brother's company. So he's like, you little shit. Like, if your fiance finds out that you have like a secret wife, okay, because that's just what they call their girlfriends, essentially. If you have a secret wife and a kid, like, we're fucked. He's like, so what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna marry the girl and pretend that her kid is my kid. And then meanwhile the girl's like, excuse me, like, what the fuck? And the guy's like, I'll pay you to marry me for several years until we can, like, quietly divorce. And, like, this all blows over. And the girl's like, fuck yeah. So anyway, but of course, because it's like a contract marriage where it's like, oh, there's only one rule. We can't fall in love. Y'all know they've fallen in love. But meanwhile, the younger fuck-up brother is like, I think I'm in love with her now.
Oh.
So, yeah,
of course he is.
He's like the worst, okay? Like, I swear to Christ, if this show ends with her, like, throwing over this super nice, competent, handsome, rich dude for this little sack of shit, I'm just gonna, like, table flip and, like, just get out of there.
Which one does March play?
He plays the fuck-up brother. He plays the worst. So that's why I'm a little suspicious, because
Yeah.
this is drama, but, like, the older brother is so
Because
good.
this has been touted, more of the advertising that I've seen suggests it's a March drama. So prepare your heart.
He's just a piece of garbage in this. So, like, I swear, like, he has no redeeming qualities. He's like, the only time he ever considered, like, oh, maybe I actually like her is after the brother, like, cleans
Like
up his
the
mess.
territory thing.
Like, anyway, but the drama is addictive. Like, it's 2 episodes a week. It's on YouTube. You can watch it for free. Anyway, so, like, I'm in it to win it with this drama. Okay. In other news, I'm also watching I Want to Hear Your Song, and unlike Amanda, I have Cocoa, so I get the subs immediately. And woo! This drama is a fucking ride. It is a roller coaster. Also, I love the guy who plays the main lead. He's just so handsome.
I love him.
And then Song J Rim, you don't. Is he bad? Is he good? Is he bad? Is he good? I don't know. Will I ever know? Who knows? I don't know what the fuck is happening in the drama. Like, I just finished episode 28, which means that there's only one more week of this drama, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna try and get, like, caught up so that I can
like,
watch
it's like the apex of this fucking roller coaster ride that we're on. Like, all the secrets are coming out. Like, murdered. Oh, God. Like.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that I've liked about it. I mean, and I think I'm 2 weeks behind right now. But, like, I
it's
can't
good.
see where it's going. Like, when you first watch it, the first week you're like, okay, so this is what's going to happen. It's going to do this and it's going to go there. And then the next week you're like, oh, maybe it's not. And then you're like, oh, no. The next week you're like, yeah, that's where it's going. Oh, no. Wait, no, it's not.
Like, every reveal changes the dynamics of everything entirely. Yeah. Like, it's so good. Like, it's such a good, like, mystery drama. Because that's basically what it is. And it's so funny because even in the first episode, it goes out to tell you, this is not a love story. But then you're like, you sure? But, like, there is a love story. It's not what's happening. Yeah. But like, and so she has like missing her memory from an accident she was in. And then so like every little piece of memory that you get back, it's like another little piece of the puzzle, but none of them are the edges. So you don't really know like. And so every time like the picture gets a little clearer and you're like, oh shit, whoa, like everything, like, oh, it's good. It's good. I don't know. I'm like really, really into this drama. I am like hardcore into it. Like when I finished, like when like I ran out of the last episodes, I was like, no.
I think that's part of the reason too why I haven't gone back and watched is because you want to watch it all at once. This is for sure a binger because like although. Like prepare yourself because you'll probably just watch it all in like one day and like have like a really problems.
You know, like when you're reading a really, really good mystery book and you just can't put it down. That's this drama. And also like the two leads are just so good. And like literally I would watch Seung Gi Rim just like read the dictionary. Like I just love that man. So we need to get him a drama where he can just be sweet and cute and not a douche and end up with the girl with his cute little apple butt and just maybe have his long hair back. Maybe. He looks hella fine with that.
You're speaking it into existence though. Yes. We're saying this now.
Using our platform correctly.
This is what we the people want. We want a long-haired, sweet, motorcycle-riding, dog-having Seung Gi Rim to sweep a lovely girl off her feet and be sweet about it. That's all. Yeah. Like, you know what? I don't think that's, like, too difficult. That's not too much of it.
I feel like that's asking too much.
No. I just, like, a solid ass. So I've got, like, 2 more that I've been working on. I've been watching a lot of, like, American stuff. I don't know why. Like, Jesse, I'm with you. I watched Carnival Row, and that was, like, amazing. And anyway, I've just been, kicking around. But I have been watching 2 other shows. Okay. I've been watching Fukuyadu Honpo, which is on Amazon Prime in Canada, which I assume means it's also on Amazon Prime in the States. It's a Japanese I think the name sort of gave away that it was a J-drama. About a family who runs a traditional dessert cafe. It's really cute. It's fluffy and there's not really too much substance to it, but it's like, it's chill. Like watching it is real chill. It's not like there's like, oh, like stressful. It's like, just like, oh no, like, will they be able to take over the next generation, take over this traditional sweet anyway, fine. It's fine. I'm enjoying it. It's cute. The main male lead is kind of, he can get it. He's not like a real like traditional Japanese male lead looking kind of guy. Like he's sort of like wide set and sort of like, he's not like wide side. I don't mean he's like fat. He just like broad shoulders and like sort of a square jaw and everything. So it's kind of like, oh, hello. Anyway, and the other thing I'm watching is the Chinese show. I decided to follow up Go-Go Squid with My Mowgli Boy. And I was actually not expecting to be that into this because
I'm shocked you are.
It kind of looked really stupid. But then they introduced the professor. And as soon as the professor came on, I was like, oh, no, I'm in it too. That poor man. Like, ooh, I just love him. I just love him so much. He reminds me of my husband. I think that's why I like him so much.
Except the professor shows up like in the second episode or something.
Yeah,
it didn't just
like I watched like the first episode and a half and I was like, like I don't know. This seems really dull. Hello. You nerdy little kid.
He's one of those like he's so sincere, like you can't
so
get over it characters.
Like he's just so nice, and he just like is so earnest, and then the object of his affection is like
Not.
resting bitch face became a human. She's like sassy and fun, but she's like mean. But like then he starts doing things like he thinks that they slept together, so he's like he asks her to like marry him, like, you know, to take responsibility, and she's like, I like sleep around with dudes all the time, and I did not sleep with you. I'm just gonna like walk away, like, and everyone's like, marry her, and she's like, peace out, bye. But you know, as because it's, you know, one of these dramas, like, you know, eventually his earnestness has, you know, won her over. God, so cute. And then like the Nuna couple, there's like a guy who's like in love with his secretary who's like 10 years older than him,
Divorced lady
who he helped her like get her divorce. The professor was her lawyer. And then there's like the main couple, which to be honest is like the least interesting of the couples, where it's like the kid who grew up in the jungle and the fashion designer who has terrible luck. I suppose it's the fourth couple. Her like stepbrother who's engaged to this just harridan of a woman, but there's also this like real dumb American who is like dumb but fun, like real, doesn't know anything but is really nice about it.
Sounds and like most Americans.
Yeah, like to be honest. So she's like a Chinese American who's coming to China to go to college. I don't even know how she got into college. Like she knows literally nothing. And she just skateboards around and like smiles and wants to like see
there's a skateboard girl? Now I gotta watch that.
Yeah, she like skateboards around and she just wants to see all like, I just want to experience Chinese culture, like authentic Chinese culture. And she like just sort of happens to run into him, and then he like starts, you know, this happens like 12 episodes in. We introduce like at first you're like this stepbrother is a piece of shit. Like I hate this guy. He's the worst. And then you just realize, oh no. I just hate his fiance. Like when he's not around her, he's like just a really nice dude, but she's just a monster. Because she is. Anyway, she's like a little over the top with the. But the story is dumb and it's fluffy and stupid and like you don't really need to think that much.
And because two of the chicks in it are from Go-Go Squid.
Yeah, like there's some overlap happening.
Because, you know, there's only like 5 actors in China, I guess.
Anyway, it's by like the same company that made Go-Go Squid, so it has the same sort of like cheerful vibe as Go-Go Squid does. So yeah, that's, you know, it's fun. I actually like, if you're just looking for something that you don't really need to think that much about, and you just want to watch something that has absolutely no stressful watching experience. The only stressful part, because, okay, this is just me. This might just be me. I have a hard time watching people embarrass themselves. Like,
and the lead girl. Ooh, the lead girl.
She does sometimes, but it's actually mostly the professor, I'm going to be honest. But, like, so it'll have all these situations where you're just like, oh, no, baby, no. And it, like, makes you like, ugh. But besides that, it's not a very stressful situation. It's very innocent and sweet and, like, you know, your typical cheesy C-drama. So, yeah, that's what I've been watching. What about you, Sky?
So have you not been watching any of the Arthdal either?
No, I was waiting for it to have, like, a few episodes. Also, I've been, like, swamped with stupid weddings. So, I mean, great weddings that are really wonderful. I also had a hurricane, so that sort of, like...
That was a big deal.
That threw off my whole schedule, to be honest. Like, it's sort of... I'm still, like, recovering. And I didn't even get hit that bad, but it was just, like, it threw off everything in my just... Anyway.
I can imagine.
There's still a giant crane collapsed in the middle of downtown that, like, they can't get a crane big enough to
get the crane out.
The crane. It's now been declared like a provincial emergency, this crane. Like, anyway, my life. Yeah, so behind in everything.
I am caught up with Arthdal.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy it. Stuff's going down because I think there's For a while, I thought there were only 2 episodes left, but I think there's 4, which makes way more sense. As far as the pace of things, I would be really concerned if there were only 2 left. Like, oh, people need to geographically get to other places if there were only 2 left. It would be bad. But yeah, I really enjoy it. I really like the dude with a mask. So I hope they keep showing more of him. Young Chop.
He's like kind of a bad dude, but he's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he's not a bad dude. I haven't seen the new season yet.
I can't tell you anything.
That's right. He was a bad dude.
I've been calling him Dread Pirate Roberts, so whatever.
It's like, will he still be a bad dude? Time will tell.
So I've been really enjoying that. I finished Moment of 18, whatever you want to call that drama. It's really, really good. I know I haven't talked about it enough. It was not as dark as it felt like it started off to be, but it still covered all of those heavy issues. It just didn't feel as heavy as the first couple of episodes were. But yeah, it summed itself up really nicely, kind of like you'd expect it to. It was charming. Rookie Historian, love it. Like, Inwoo doesn't even need to be in it, and I would still really love it. And it's not just fluffy. I mean, it's definitely like alternate. It's fantasy, so as far as like women having a voice to say anything, like that's the fantasy aspect of it. But it's nice to see it still. That like women being able to make some of their own choices and stuff in that era. You know that's not reality, but it's nice to see it just the same. So that's a wish fulfillment, essentially. It's just a wish fulfillment show. But it's really enjoyable. It's really pretty and funny. Of course, some episodes are not as funny. It's lots of...
it is still a sagook, right? So
right.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of questions, and there are only 4 episodes left. Like, I need to watch this week's 2 episodes. So there's 4 episodes left for me. And the level of mystery that's still going on that has not been answered is kind of amazing. Like, puzzle pieces have not been falling into place. Let's just put it that way. Nothing has really been... So I hope that this week's episodes will do something different than it's been doing, because, you know, the prince's background, her background, everybody's background, we know nothing, really. So it's like, maybe we should know somebody's something in order to get stuff going.
Maybe. Just a thought.
And we did an OST song, so that was just announced like a day or two ago. He did a really good job on it. So that's pretty. I did watch 1 episode of the Flower Crew Josian Marriage Agency. It's cute. I will watch the whole thing, I have no doubt. I thought I was going to be probably secure in my OTP just from the previews. I actually the previews. Oh, even in episode 1, it's like, oh no, there's going to be a love triangle, isn't there? That's predictable, but I didn't know it was coming, so...
Come on now, man. Come on.
And I kind of lost it because, okay, pretty much there's 3 guys that run this marriage agency, which is hilarious. Pretty much a serious one, a playboy type, too cool for school playboy type, and then like the young cutesy fashionista kid. The young cutesy fashionista kid, he's an idol. He was in Produce 101 season 2, and he was in 101 because he was in the top 11. And in the show, Produce 101, he would do he was known for his cutesy gestures. And he did this Jojang thing, like that was like his main thing he was known for. And in the first episode of this show, sure enough, in character, in all of his garb, like they're kind of, these characters off screen are kind of introducing the 3 main guys, and they're talking about this fashionista kid, and then they're like, and he's the cutest one, and then he goes, Jojang! And I was like, are you kidding me right now? They totally stuck that in there. And so I'm sure everybody just lost their, all the Korean fans were probably just like, oh my gosh! I love it when they do stuff like that. I kind of wondered, just like, going back to Moments at 18, I wondered about, so since the lead guy, he was in 101.
Yeah.
101, his main thing was, he would always say that he was very, very, extremely awesome, thankful for like, so he had this long spiel of being very, 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 very thankful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the show, his character would once in a while be like, I'm very, very, very thankful. And so I was wondering if they were, I couldn't tell, because it's kind of a show, so I couldn't tell if they were bringing it in or if it was just kind of the way high schoolers talk too, because I've kind of heard that high schoolers sometimes, Korean high schoolers kind of do that a little bit. So I can't tell. So I was pretending that was a thing too. So I like those little in-joke things. They crack me up. And I'm pretty sure that Korean fans are like, oh my gosh! I watched a little bit of My Mowgli Boy. I'm sure I will continue sometime. It's going to be one of those filler shows for me. Just the main one that I'm more into, Chinese-wise, is My Girlfriend is an Alien. I don't know why. It's bizarre. It's cute. She talks to a possessed turtle. I mean, there's all types of weird things going on, but hey.
Like, there's stuff happening here.
And pretty much, instead of face blindness, we have storm-induced female amnesia. So pretty much the main guy, because his mom passed away during a rainstorm. Since then, he's had all these girlfriends, and anytime it rains or storms, all of a sudden, he can't remember who she is. It's like he has this line of ex-girlfriends. Yeah. So then all
every
of a sudden,
time.
Every time.
Wow.
Then, of course, it doesn't happen to alien ship.
Yes. Because technically, as an alien, she's beyond the concepts of mere gender.
She saved him in the first episode, and there was a little bit of blood exchange there, so who knows?
Yes.
They're tied together.
Yeah, like, his physiology is probably completely different now, and he has no clue. Then she doesn't even know. She can also stop time for a little bit, and she can also fly, like, she made her scooter fly. It's crazy. It's fun. It's weird. Loved Hotel de Luna. I won't say much about that because we already
so good.
Really, really liked it. King's Avatar, I was in it to win it, and then I'm not now, but like I will finish it sometime. I have not had much.
Yeah, you've been away.
Only for a couple days, just definitely for a while it's been, it's my Astro Boys, gotta watch their shows. Like that was step one, and then after that, do I have time for Coffee and Vanilla? Okay, I'm gonna say. Coffee and Vanilla. I have a lot of opinions, but it only kind of made me cringe most of the time, and then for some reason the last episode, like, I could barely handle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really trying to not care, because I had to be real with myself. Like, if I was starting to be picky at that episode, I should have been picky about a lot of other stuff that happened. Like,
yeah.
But
you're right, girl. You're right.
Yeah, you're right.
Actually, I guess I watched two new American movies, and I think a couple of us watched what was it? The In movie? What was it?
Falling in love.
Falling in Love. Oh my god. Hallmark Channel movie made by Netflix. It was so cheesy, but he was so pretty.
He was very pretty.
So the other Netflix Hallmark movie that I watched was Tall Girl.
Oh, I have that on my list.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to like spoil it or anything, but I really, really liked it. And for me, high school movies or shows, American ones, can be very hit or miss because I do think, like, for instance, there was one that I wish I could remember the name of it, and I won't remember it, but one that I really liked, but it still had a lot of inappropriate stuff in it, which kind of takes me out of loving it quite often with high school stuff. There was one that I watched that was very, like, she was one of three friends and she was the ugly one. And
the Duff.
Yes.
The Duff.
So,
that one was funny. That one was, she wasn't actually ugly. She was just the ugliest of, but she was like barely. Like she was ended
up with the pretty boy.
Listen, she was just short and like slightly round faced and wore overalls instead of skirts. Like that was the you ugly. Like okay, sure. But it's Hollywood ugly.
So I was kind of wondering if it was going to be the Duff type of humor, because which was kind of more pointed and it was way more tough with the bullying stuff in that one. Tall Girl to me is the Duff but nicer.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciated. So even though it wasn't really bullying, because for a tall girl, it's not bullying. It is people simply asking you 10 times a day, how's the air up there? Yeah. But if you hear it 10 times a day,
It feels like
it
bullying.
wears on you.
Yeah.
And for her, it was like a self-esteem issue. So she had two best friends. One is this awesome African-American, like, fashionista type who her parents wanted her to go to med school, but the tall girl, like, said, no, stand your ground and go to fashion school. So she the tall girl can't go to her house anymore because her parents disowned the friend. And then her other best friend is this short guy, and they've all been friends since childhood. And this short guy, has been in love with her forever and totally says that all the time. Like, you're great, blah, blah, blah.
He's the ducky. He's the ducky of this drama.
And the whole time, like, giving her pickup lines, and she's just like, nope, like, not having it. Like, nope. And he's just like, why? And it's very much like, you're too short. Like, way shorter than her. So, yeah, it's a really good time. And I think it's super safe to watch with kids. I mean, it never went really bad on anything. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. I usually don't bring up that type of stuff, but it was a nice, cute romance thing. So
that's what we've been watching.
Yeah.
So next week, don't worry, I'm not ending this episode. There's more to come. But next week, finally, after much delays, the show Vagabond is finally coming to us for us to watch. So we thought that we would, instead of watching any of Lee Seung Gi's actual works drama, we would instead experience his more laid-back variety show personality by watching a few episodes of Master in the House and also Little Forest, which is kind of my new addiction. Little Forest. So
something I also want to mention, though, he's been really big in the MC world for like ever.
Yeah. So before he went to the military, he was really big, and then when he got out, literally the day he got out of the military is like the first episode of Master in the House. Military treated him well. Treated him well.
And he liked the military. He really liked the military.
Yeah, he did.
He talked about it a lot in that first episode.
Yeah, and he was already pretty fine to begin with, so he just came out finer.
He's got a great smile. Like,
he just has a nice face.
So good.
He has a nice face. Like, he's the sort of guy where you look at him and you're like, oh, I'd bring you home to meet Mama. Like, he just looks like he's a nice dude. And if his variety show persona is to be believed, you always sort of take this with a grain of salt. He seems like a really nice guy, too. So, but anyway, Master in the House is a variety show in which him and three friends go hang out with a master of some sort of craft for 24 hours and live their life to, like, see what they get up to. And, oh boy, it's really fun. They often get up to pure shenanigans. So they hung out with BOA one time.
They lost their minds on that one.
Oh, they lost their mind. Like, because one of them got to be her backup dancer in her show. Like, there was a whole thing. Oh my god, my mind just went totally blank. But they hung out with, like, everyone. They hung out with, like, the mom.
JYP, right?
I think so. Yeah, they hung out with
episode.
They've hung out with. They go to LA for an episode to hang out with. She used to be an actress in the 90s. I forget her. Anyway, because they had hung out with her husband before, and then they went to hang out with her in LA. And they also met the dude who was in The Maze Runner. And yeah, so anyway, they had a good time. Yeah, they had a good time in
One
LA.
of the things I kind of dig about it is, like, it's clearly not made for the like the international fans or the international audience.
Yeah.
Like, the concept is, we polled people in Korea, and these are the people in Korea. So, like, the stuff you're getting, it's not, a lot of the time, it's people you've never heard of.
Yeah,
like, unless you're really steeped into, like, Korean culture and what goes on in there. Like, the first episode is this guy, like, I had no idea who he was, but he's like a guitarist, he's a rocker who, like,
from, like, the 70s
created Korean rock and roll music and, like, the 70s.
He's like ancient. Like, he's getting up there, and he's just the weirdest dude. That was so funny, though. Just like,
he walks in the room and they lost their minds. They were like, oh, like, they're bowing and bowing and bowing again. Yeah,
because they don't tell them who they're going to hang out with
always
before they get there. They give them, like, hints, and they have to guess.
And I gotta admit, that kicks up my anxiety a little bit. Like, watching them go through that, like, it's kind of hard. And then even once they figure it out, it's like, you can tell them trying to figure out, like, how to treat this person because they just figured out who it is. And so, definitely, if it's someone way older than them, they're having to, like, think of, like, oh, man, I really gotta treat him like...
Like, no, just when they hung out with the woman, like, the elderly actress, who's just, like, so sassy. And she was like, yeah, like, whatever. Like, come on in. Like, my heat doesn't work. Who gives a fuck? Like, just get in here. Like... Or, you know, don't call me that. Like, and they're all like, what do? We don't know what to do with this lady. And they have to go to the dude's house, the one from BTOB. What's it, Seungjin? Is that his name?
Seungjae?
Seungjae? Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to go to his, like, so they can't stay in her house because the heat's not working. But they have to, like, stay with them overnight. So they go to, like, his apartment, but his apartment is his dorm where he lives with, like, all of his bandmates. So they have to kick all the bandmates out. It's like, and they're trying to, like, make this, like, shitty apartment, like, nice for this, like, elderly woman. So they're like, he makes, like, a path made out of, like, tangerines, like, like onto the bed. Oh my god, it was so cute. And you learn a lot of stuff in it. So that's, I really like that. But
I think if you're a fan of dramas or K-pop and you want to know more about
the history,
Korea in general, and like the history and the history of the arts in Korea, I mean, I just started watching that the most recent episodes with Shin Sunrock was in them, but like he's not the master. The master is like a ballroom dancer, and this other J Black, J Pink, who's a hip hop
they're incredible.
dancer.
They're incredible. They're a married couple, and they're the ones who always show up on Running Man to help them learn choreography and stuff.
Very impressive, like the work, like. But again, I had no idea, but they knew who they were. Like they walked out and they were like, "Whoa, it's that person, right?" Because if you were Korean living in Korea, you would recognize these people because they're, you know, it's like being a Canadian and knowing different sports, you know, Canadian sports stars or Canadian actors and actresses and stuff that other people might not recognize necessarily because
it would be like if we had a show,
world, you know.
It's like if we had a show and then were he still alive, where we went and hung out with Gordon Downey for 24 hours. Like if you're in Canada, you'd be like, oh my god, oh they did not. But like anyone outside of Canada would be like, who the fuck is this? We'd be like, he's the lead singer of the Tragically Hip. He died last year, but the Tragically Hip is like the most Canadian band of all time. It's like, incredible.
Mr. Dress Up or like you know, like even some of them would be things like pulling Canadian things out of my head again, like Anne Murray.
Yes.
People outside of Canada would know, some of them would know
Rita McNeil. Rita McNeil.
So far, you know, in the past, like Americans in the 70s might know, but like, you know, young kids watching now would be like, I don't know who that is, but like all the Canadians watching would be like, what? Right? Like, and so you really get that feeling from it, like where you're sitting there going, I don't know who this person is. Good thing they're going to describe their career to me so that I know who this is. But like you see them and it's like as soon as they see their faces, they're like, whoa, we get to meet this person. Like,
so it's like you get both like shenanigans, because they always do shenanigans, because there's always one person who gets to sleep in the same room as the master. So they always have to do like a game between the four of them to like determine who gets the honor or dishonor, depending on who they're with. So they get like the shenanigan bits and the comedy bits, but then you also get like the history bits and the, you know.
Well, I also think it's interesting because you have these people that are experts. So the cast themselves, they're experts in their field. I mean, acting and singing and comedy. I mean, you know, they kind of rounded all this stuff. And so it's nice to see them as human beings who don't know all these things that they're going to be taught. And so it's kind of nice to see them try and fail and then eventually learn something, because honestly, like, all of them are very successful in what they do.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to see them as they know everything. Well, it's very obvious when you watch the show. They don't know much. Like, they really don't.
I really, really, really like the episode where they hang out with, like, the famous Korean history teacher who, like, always shows up on those things. They had, like, where they hung out with him and they learn, he's, like, and then he's currently, like, working on, like, North Korean, South Korean differences, and they do this whole thing where, like, he was teaching them about, like, the North Korean dialect and teaching them about why people are for reunification and all this. But then he does these sort of, like, TED Talks, essentially, but, like, they're called, like, street lectures, where they just, like, set up a podium outside of a university, and he goes and he gives, like, an hour-long talk, and anyone who's walking by can just sit down and listen. So they did one where all of them had to do one. That was what he did with them. So they all had to do, like, a 10-minute, like, at this, like, street lecture. They all had to come out and give, like, a lecture about basically themselves and, like, their advice for students and young people. And it was just really good. It was just really good. Do you know what else is really good, though? All the content that we have over on Coffee. We fund this podcast ourselves from our own pockets, and hosting and stuff gets a little pricey, and when we provide this for free, and we love everyone who listens to us. But if you love what you're listening to, and you want to sort of help us keep going at the rate that we're going, head over to ko-fi.com/certified Nunas and give us, send us some support. If you don't have money, that's totally cool. We love you anyway. We love you regardless. We just love all of you. We love that you listen. So if you don't, just maybe send the podcast to someone that you think would really enjoy listening to what we put out into the world. All right, back to talking Lee Seung Gi. So if we go then to his other big variety show that's currently airing, Little Forest, we're presented with a completely different scenario.
But still him out of his element.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Very much so.
the basic plot of Little Forest is him and 3 other celebrities open a nature-based daycare, despite the fact that only one of them regularly spends time with children.
And he got the idea during Master in the House, right? Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So-
almost like a day camp, like a day camp
Yeah.
daycare kind of
It's like
thing,
a weekend.
a
It's like they
summer
show up for the
camp or
weekend.
something,
Yeah.
like-
What I love about it is, this is what I was laughing at. It's the same thing that I love about, like, Return of Superman, is that it's really clear to me that the propaganda of this show, the reason this show exists, is to try to convince young people to have babies, because nobody wants to have babies for good reasons a lot of the times. But God, they find the cutest kids for this show. It's
So
like
adorable.
they're so adorable, but they're all adorable in, like, different ways. Like, some of them are, like, really cute to look at, but, like, the oldest kid, who's like this chunky, like, he's not like a cute kid, but he's so earnest and sweet and adorable, and you're just like, oh. Like, I don't even like children, and I'm just like, oh, I just want to pinch your little cheeks. It's so cute. But what I think, was selling most people on this show was in the first episode, where he shows up at Somin's house, and she has her nephew, who's like a new baby. Like, we're talking
Tiny.
fresh from the oven child. And she's like, oh, I have to go get the door. Can you hold the baby for a second? And she just hands Lee Seung Gi this baby. And he's just, like, standing there like, what do I do? But then he's, like, like, cuddling this baby and stuff. And you're like, oh,
falls
no.
asleep.
Oh,
Yeah.
the baby falls asleep on him. And he's just like, shh, we got to be quiet like the babies. And you're like, I see you, show.
I know what you're
see
doing.
you. I see what you're doing to us. And
It
I
kind of feels like, vibe-wise, the show feels like if Coffee Friends and Return of Superman had, like,
Mhm.
a baby, this would be
Yes.
it.
It has possibly the greatest collection of characters to ever be put together.
It's
Who's
like
the other
such a
girl?
sporadic
Like,
amount.
Partner
What?
Ray?
Not Ray?
She's a
Yeah,
comedian.
like, what's she from? Oh, okay. Like that's what I kind of figured. But
she's on a lot of shows.
I Live Alone.
Yeah, that's her main thing is I Live Alone. She was also, if you recall from Busted, where they have to go to learn pole dancing.
Oh my god, so good.
She was the pole dancing instructor. She does not know pole dancing.
Also going to be the first Korean stand-up comedy special through Netflix is her one-woman stand-up comedy coming soon.
Well, the first Korean woman stand-up comedy.
Yeah, but like through Netflix. It's a Netflix produced.
Oh, okay, because Yu Byung Jae had the Netflix. Yeah, so he was like the first male Korean. All right. You know, she's so funny. I love her.
Oh, she's great.
She knows nothing about children.
She also has like she's like most famous for that she has a bar out of her house.
Yeah.
And it's like a bar. It's basically where she just gets all the cute boys to come to her house. And I mean, but it's like a full out. She can make everything, and she's an
amazing
party planner. Like, if you watch any of her like I Live Alone, she can make every drink, but she'll also make like a 14-course meal. Yeah. Like, she's that type of person.
Okay, knowing that makes a little more sense then, because like they were like, oh, and you can cook, and she's like I make bar snacks. Like I make party snacks. I don't.
And then they were like,
children.
and then the other guy on it was from 3 Meals a Day. So like, oh, you can cook. And he's like, I don't know how to cook. And they're like, what do you mean? You're on 3 Meals a Day. He's like, no, Eric did all the cooking. Like, Eric Munn does all the cooking. Like, I just eat it. Like, oh my God, that guy, like, he kills me.
He took a cooking class so that he could do this.
He got certified in, like, cooking children. But, like, he was
sounded like you just said cooking children.
Cooking for children. He was also on one of my favorite dramas. He was the male lead of Marriage Contract, which is probably one of the saddest K-dramas ever made. But he was basically playing himself in that drama. I'm gonna be honest. Like, when I started, and he shows up on all these variety shows, and that's just his personality. Like, he's kind of just a dick. Like, he's always just like, I'm so tired. Like, I just want to go home, okay? So, like, the first episode, when you're first presented with him, he's like, I know nothing about children. I don't even know why I'm here. Like, why would you ask me? Like, he goes over to a house of a woman he doesn't know.
Yeah, they don't know who's going to be on the show. Like,
yeah, so he goes over to So-min's house, which is, let me tell you, the most gorgeous house you've ever seen. And then he, like, helps her carry the stuff up. And while she goes to let, like, Nare into the house, he just, like, lies down on the couch, like, pulls a blanket up over himself, like, he's, like, making himself at home. And he's like, wait a second, Seung Gi, did you have a baby? Like, is that your baby? Like, what the hell? Is this, like, some sort of revelation? He's like, no, it's not my baby. Like, and so he's just sort of like, yeah, I don't know why I'm here. So he has sort of this real, like, tsundere, like, I'm an asshole personality. But then, like, as soon as, like, his first encounter you see him is him making organic from scratch ketchup. Where he has to peel the tomatoes himself, like, not like fresh,
like an hour.
Yes, but it's also so funny, like, before that, like, because when they're introducing all the kids, they're like, keep on asking about ketchup, and nobody likes ketchup out of the kid group.
But they all like ketchup. So, but then he's like, yeah, I don't really like kids, so I'll just stay in the kitchen and, like, cook and stuff. But then, as soon as the first little 4-year-old girl wanders into the kitchen asking for a drink, he's like, oh my goodness, you're so cute. And he's like, I will get you a drink. I will get you anything you want. The entire world. You are just the cutest little thing.
He doesn't, to be clear, he doesn't say any of this. It's just written on his face.
But you can see it on his face.
Or he's just like,
insta love.
He basically becomes like the male version of the, like, ovaries exploding gift. Like, he just, he's just like, okay, I need to find a woman and get married right now. Like, it's just like this, I gotta get on this, because babies are cute.
You know the SpongeBob gif where he, like, drops the mop and is like, oh, and, like, slaps the side of his face and his eyes? That's him. That's him at that moment. It's just like, oh my God. The kids are so cute.
They're adorable.
Oh my God.
My favorite moment so far was when they go down to, like, you can call it a petting zoo, but it's where the bunnies are and the chickens.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the only thing that Nare is terrified of is chickens. So Seung Gi goes in with the kids who are causing all types of kid chaos.
Oh yeah,
And Nare's just standing there like being armchair coaching him.
Outside. My favorite part of that episode was when he has to put sunscreen on all the kids.
Oh, and she's watching him do it.
And he's watching it, and there's like this little 3-year-old girl, and she's like the first victim of Lee Seung Gi attempting to put sunscreen on a child, and he puts like way too much sunscreen on this girl's face. Like she's like white face, and she's just standing there so politely while he's just like laughing, trying to like rub this sunscreen in. And she's just like, like, yeah, you can do it, Uncle. Like, like I actually had to stop, rewind, and make my husband watch it because I was laughing. I was like, honey, that's you with children. Like, that's what you. Like, just like, oh god. Like, just keeps like, and like the more he tries to rub it in, like the worse it gets. And then Naru's like, just send them out to me. Oh my god, it's a very zen show. Like nothing stressful really happens on this show. It's like the
definitely falls into that like Coffee Friends, Hiyori, like it's that kind of.
If there is stress, it's just like, oh, we got to make dinner really fast, or
oh no, this kid has a scratch on their leg and is crying, and we need to hug them and put a Band-Aid on it. Like real
low stakes.
Yeah, and it's like it's definitely got a different tone than Return of Superman too. Like there's like a difference, even though like there really isn't much in stakes in that show as well, but there's just like a lot more quietness involved in it.
Yeah, because it'll just be like they're not doing shenanigans. Like because on Return of Superman they'll often like they'll go on adventures and do shenanigans or whatever. But like on this one it's just like it's just kids playing in nature.
Well, and I did like how that was the entire premise, like how they said
they want to bring city kids to the country.
And how that's necessary, for kids to learn those types of things that they won't be able to see in the city. And that makes me really sad to think about that kids don't have access to those things. And you could tell how many families tried to get their kids out there. Yeah. And so it's like, I want more kids out there. But I thought the premise was really cool. And that's kind of like Coffee Friends too. I mean, it's not like Coffee Friends is like, I want to make everyone calm, but that's kind of part of a little bit of what they do.
What I kind of liked about that was that that's such a universal concept right now too, that idea that like kids don't spend enough time outside and they aren't in nature and they're not just being kids, that they're spending too much time on homework and they're spending too much time watching TV or playing video games or whatever, and they're not connecting with each other and they're not connecting with nature. And like that's a very relatable, universal kind of thing that's going on in the world today. That is not just Korean. Like that is very definitely an issue parenting wise that that you have to put up with from people too. Like, ooh, why are you kids watching TV? Well, Susan, because I feel like letting them watch TV right now. Relax.
Yeah, like, because I'm tired, Susan. I'm tired. But like, speaking of Lee Seung Gi though, since that's technically what we're technically doing, even though now we're just like cute children. Does anyone have like a favorite drama of his? Bring it on back. Before we watch Vagabond for next week.
I think the only one I've watched is Hwayugi.
King Two Hearts was my first one.
Oh yeah, okay.
Literally 20 minutes of King Two Hearts and that's it. That's all.
My personal favorite is You Are All Surrounded.
I've seen part of that.
Love that drama.
On my list.
Love that drama.
What's that movie that I watched? It's not good, but Love Forecast, was that it?
That was your pretty
cute, but like
it was your pretty standard forgettable rom-com, but it's cute.
Exactly.
I watched Matchmaker and the Princess and the
Okay, yeah.
I don't recommend it, but good costumes, I guess.
I mean, Hwayugi was pretty to watch. Like, it was interesting. It had interesting stories. He was great in it.
His character was great.
He's a good actor.
And fun and like, he's fun to watch. The Hwayugi itself was a little bit of a mess, but like it was fun. So, whatever. And he was cute.
I think that his career trajectory is just a very fascinating one.
Yeah.
Because he started off, yes, a lot of kids start off young when they're singers and stuff. But again, he was kind of on, there was Boa, and not that they were like, they're kind of peers in a way. I wish I knew how many years were in between them. Probably not many.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
He was kind of he probably wasn't the first by any means, but as far as being a young male solo singer kid, like he was kind of one of the first ones that hit it really big. And then one of his first songs, I wish I knew the exact name, but it was pretty much like Nuna is a Woman to Me is like the biggest, like that is his main first hit. It is the main people think of when they see him. Like he was pretty much the youngin' that all the Nunas wanted for quite some time. And so then when he went into the military, all the Nuna hearts broke, like that was a thing. So, I mean, his trajectory has just been always really fascinating because he started so young and all the Nunas wanted him, like.
Yeah, and he has like a really he chooses a lot of sort of fantastical roles. Like there was Hyugi, but he was also the main role in My Girlfriend is a Gummyo. And also in the Goo Family book where he played a half Gummyo. So apparently he's like, he likes the fantasy shit. But yeah, no, I like him.
And I really liked him in King Two Hearts. He did a great job of me hating his guts for like half of the show.
Yeah. And then a great job at turning it around.
Yep.
And you're like, oh wait, I like you now.
Convincing. Like I really disliked him, and then I didn't.
That's character growth right there, man.
Yep.
So he's a good actor. Like he doesn't have like it's not like you look at his filmography and like, wow, that's so extensive. But at the same time, like he's literally my age. It wouldn't be. He's only 32. It wouldn't be super extensive yet.
Well, and then knowing that for quite some time his training was in singing, like that's what he was mostly doing for a long time. So the fact that he's even had as many roles as he's had is pretty good.
And then they put him in a movie or a show or something, and they were like, oh shit, this guy can like fucking act the pants off himself. Okay.
Act the pants off himself.
Okay.
I mean, that's the other thing that he's really known for is variety shows, like doing variety shows, being on interviews, doing this stuff. Like he's just known for being him. He's just him. Like
he's apparently. I'm looking at my drama list right now. He's apparently going to be on the next season of Busted.
Oh yeah, that's right.
As a main host.
I knew that.
And he has that show with Jasper.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Which I've been following their Instas and stuff, and it's so great because, like, you kind of get a little bit of English and Chinese and Korean going on.
The Together show? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I hope it's legal somewhere, or else I will be finding it elsewhere.
Let's speak this into existence.
Yes, please speak.
We would like to watch this legally, please.
But on Netflix, you have a lot of Jasper crud on there. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they've got
this goes like way back. Like he was on X-Men. Like he was on X-Men back when it was.
Oh wow.
Like so he's been active for a while. And I just love him. I've actually liked pretty much every show that I've watched with him in it. I've enjoyed.
I do this with a lot of actors, but I at least want to see them, like, if it gets announced that he's cast in something, I at least want to see the first episode of it. I'd like to see him in a different role. I always want to see him at least doing it, even if I can't follow through with the whole show necessarily. Because
that's why I'm, like, really interested in Vagabond, because he usually plays these sort of comedic... Less so in You Are All Surrounded, like it was half comedy, half serious, but like I kind of want to see him be serious, Well,
isn't there a possibility that he's gonna be half comedy, half serious in Vagabond since he's an actor in that show?
I feel
he's like a stuntman,
yeah.
Isn't he? And then Sushi's part is that she's the actual agent or whatever.
We'll have to find out. Like we'll have to find out. It was like how I really liked his co-star in Hwayugi and You Are All Surrounded. What's his name? Cha
Seung-wan. Yeah.
Yeah, Cha Seung-wan. Where like all the shows I'd watched him in, he kind of was sort of this comedic, off the wall. And then I watched Man in High Heels. Oh boy, was he not that? Was that movie hard to watch? But he was very not. There was no comedy in that film. That film was a dark film. Very dark. I do recommend it. It's a good film. Good movie, but dark. So dark.
But for Vagabond, so the stills that were released of like Lee Seung Gi's character being in this crazy outfit. With,
you mean the mullet pictures?
I'm not sure that's a mullet.
It was a mullet. I investigated
and then clashing camo and pattern shirt but my theory on that, and I haven't said it on Twitter because like, I'll probably be proved wrong here in just a few days. But my theory is simply that it's either him being a stuntman in a role or just being in a disguise or whatever. Like, I don't necessarily think his character looks like that all the time. Like, I just really don't think that's my theory. Just because, he's a stuntman. They get dressed up all the time and stuff. Kind of like when I watched the second season of Welcome to Waikiki, and the stuntman character, he got dressed up in like Kill Bill outfit with, women's hair and stuff. Yeah. And of course, that's the still pictures they had of him. Yeah. And so it's like, no, it happens for like 5 minutes and you move on and do something else. So, like, that's my theory.
Well, we'll have to see.
They do that a lot with the, with the previews on stuff or the stills that they release, and you're like, oh my gosh, is that where we're going? And like, no, we're not going there. It's 2 minutes of the whole hour, like, whatever.
So I'm excited for Vagabond because
me too.
It's a show that's pretty squarely within the type of things that I like. So I imagine.
Same. And like, we've been waiting for so long. So I'm like, just give it to us already, okay? Like, which, yeesh.
I wonder how that messes with people's expectations, because expectations do have a lot to do with how people receive things.
Yeah.
And so if you keep pushing things back too far, like, it makes me wonder if people either lose their excitement or get too excited.
I never have expectations for anything. I learned that after the Star Wars prequels, to just lower your expectations so that you just do not get hurt again. So I never have expectations for anything. I'm just like, if I like it, I like it.
Sometimes
if she ever,
Jesse,
if she ever gets expectations, we have to like cut that clip out and play it back for sometime.
I'll get like, it's like, I won't get excited for shows, but I will get interested for shows. So it's not like I'm like, this is going to be, I never go into a show thinking this is going to be the best show ever, because I will be proved wrong. But like, if I go into Hotel de Luna, I was like, oh, this looks like it's going to be a really interesting show. And was I proved correct? Oh, hell yes, I was. What a delightful surprise that was. But yeah, I try not to get too hyped because.
Yeah. In general, that's a good rule.
Even sometimes, even just knowing that the stuff's coming for like, a month or two, and you're at first you're like, yeah, okay, cool, and then by the time it comes, you're like, man, like this month, there's so many different dramas coming out this month, and that when they were announced, when the casts were announced, I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally watching that, and then it came out this week, and I'm like, oh, no, I'm good.
It's like expectation fatigue.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was our episode about Little Forest and Master in the House, and broadly, sort of, Lee Seung Gi. This was sort of an all over the place episode, wasn't it?
It was.
I had a good time just talking.
I wonder how all over the place it will be after Jess gets finished with it.
We'll see.
Makes it cohesive.
There might be a lot of fun stuff on coffee.
Yeah, Jess might have some fun stuff later.
Hello, Beth. She's our number one contributor on coffee. Beth,
Hi.
Coffee contributor of the month goes to Beth. Beth, we love you so much. She's literally, like, Beth is literally the best. She's the one who, if you watch my YouTube channel, she's the one who sent me that ridiculous box full of nonsense that I opened on live. That was just too much. Anyway, she's the best. We love her. Beth loves us. Beth, we love you. Okay, well, that's that. So we hope that you enjoyed listening to this episode of the Certified Nunas. You can find us wherever you're listening to us, but we're also on Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, YouTube. Yeah, we're on iTunes. We're on Google Play. We're on pretty much, like, you know, if it has
The big ones.
the big ones. If it has, you know, if you have it on your phone, you can probably find us on it.
Mm-hmm.
We're on Twitter and Instagram at @CertifiedNunas. Please give us a little, you know, follow over there, and send us some DMs or some tweets. We love hearing from all y'all. And remember, if you really love this podcast and want to support what we do to make it easier for us to keep doing it, go to ko-fi.com/CertifiedNunas to send us some support. We hope that you have a wonderful week. All right, bye.
Bye.